Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest, there lived a wise old owl named Oliver. Oliver was known throughout the forest for his wisdom and calm demeanor. All the animals would come to him whenever they had a problem, and he always had the right advice to offer. In the same forest lived a young, energetic rabbit named Rubby. Rubby was full of life and always in a hurry. She wanted to do everything quickly and didn't like waiting for anything. If she saw a carrot, she would dash to it before thinking, and if she heard about a new adventure, she would rush into it without a plan. One day, Rubby heard from the other animals that there was a secret garden deep in the forest, filled with the most delicious vegetables and fruits. Eager to get there first, Rubby decided to go alone and quickly find the garden. She ran as fast as she could, jumping over rocks and ducking under branches, without paying attention to where she was going. After a while, she found herself in a part of the forest she had never seen before. The trees were taller, the bushes thicker, and there were no familiar paths. Rubby stopped, realizing she was lost. She looked around, but everything looked the same. Panic set in as she thought about all the stories she had heard about getting lost in the forest. She hopped from one place to another, trying to find her way back, but she only got more and more confused. Just as she was about to give up, she heard a soft hoot from above. Looking up, she saw Oliver the owl perched on a branch, watching her with his wise, calm eyes. "Oliver!" Rubby cried. "I'm lost. I was trying to find the secret garden, but now I don't know where I am. Can you help me?" Oliver flew down to a lower branch, closer to Rubby. "Of course, Rubby," he said in his soothing voice. "But first, tell me, why were you in such a hurry?" "I wanted to get to the garden before anyone else," Rubby said. "I didn't want to wait, so I rushed ahead without thinking." Oliver nodded. "I see. But sometimes, being in a hurry can lead us to trouble. The forest is a big place, and it's easy to get lost if we don't pay attention to where we're going." Rubby looked down, realizing her mistake. "I understand now, Oliver. But what should I do? How can I find the garden, or even get back home?" Oliver smiled kindly. "The forest may seem confusing, but if you take your time and look carefully, you'll find your way. Sometimes, the path we need is right in front of us, but we can't see it when we're rushing." Oliver then offered to guide Rubby back to familiar territory. As they walked slowly through the forest, Oliver pointed out landmarks and paths that Rubby hadn't noticed before. He showed her how to recognize the direction by the position of the sun and how to use the trees and the sounds of the forest as guides. After a while, they arrived back at the part of the forest Rubby knew well. She felt relieved and grateful. "Thank you, Oliver," she said. "I've learned my lesson. I'll be more patient and careful from now on." Oliver nodded. "Patience is a valuable skill, Rubby. When we slow down, we can see things more clearly and avoid mistakes." Rubby smiled and hopped away, this time taking her time to enjoy the sights and sounds of the forest. She decided she would look for the secret garden again, but this time, she would plan her journey carefully and ask for help if she needed it, and so, Rubby became a wiser, more patient rabbit, and the other animals noticed the change in her. She still loved to run and explore, but now she did so with thoughtfulness and care, making her adventures all the more enjoyable. Oliver continued to watch over the forest, always ready to share his wisdom with those who needed it. And as for the secret garden, well, that's another story, perhaps for another day.
Comprehension Questions Answer. Comment your answer. Question: why did Rubby rush into the forest without thinking? Answer: Ruby rushed into the forest because she wanted to be the first to find the secret garden and didn't want to wait. Question: what happened to Ruby when she was in a hurry? Answer: when Ruby was in a hurry, she ended up getting lost in a part of the forest she didn't recognize and couldn't find her way back. Question: how did Oliver help Ruby when she was lost? Answer: Oliver helped Ruby by flying down to guide her back, pointing out landmarks, and teaching her how to navigate the forest more carefully. Question: what lesson did Ruby learn from her experience in the forest? Answer: Ruby learned that being patient and taking her time are important. Rushing can lead to mistakes and problems, while careful planning and observation are beneficial. Question: how did Ruby change after her adventure with Oliver? Answer: after her adventure with Oliver, Ruby became more patient and thoughtful. She started to take her time and enjoy the journey rather than rushing through it.
Now it's vocabulary time. Demeanor, meaning the way a person or animal behaves or appears to others, their manner or conduct. For example, Oliver the owl had a calm and wise demeanor, which made the other animals trust him. Energetic, meaning full of energy, lively and active. For example, Ruby was an energetic rabbit who was always in a hurry to do things. Impatient, meaning having a lack of patience, unable or unwilling to wait. For example, Ruby was impatient and didn't like to wait for anything. Landmarks, meaning objects or features that are easily recognized and can be used to identify a location. For example, Oliver showed Ruby how to use the trees and rocks as landmarks to find her way through the forest. Thoughtfulness, meaning the quality of being considerate, careful, and paying attention to details. For example, Ruby learned to approach her adventures with more thoughtfulness and care after her experience in the forest.